Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another NRL matchday video, or NRL video rather. Today I'm here to give you my round 21 NRL tips of 2024. Now before we get to it, I'm just going for a preview for last week. Now last week, unfortunately, I managed to get below 50% again. I managed to get 3 of the 7 games correct. The only teams I managed to get correct was... I got the Rabbitohs correct. I got the Manly winning. And the other game was... I managed to get the Panthers correct against the Dolphins. So, well, unless you want to count Origin, 4 out of 8. Because obviously I picked New South Wales to win. And speaking of which, last week was the final week of Origin. And with that out of the way, Origin is officially over. From round 13 to round 20. It was fun and it wasn't fun at times. But we got there in the end. Origin's officially over. Now we're on the road to the finals in our last remaining 8 rounds of the season. 7 rounds of the season, my apologies. But anyways, guys, before we get into the tips, if you're new around here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We've just reached 1,700 subscribers last week. Thank you all very much who have subscribed. I meant 1,600 subscribers, sorry. Let's get to 1,700 subscribers as soon as we can. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get through my round 21 tips. And the first game that's kicking off at 6 p.m. at Mount Smart Stadium, 8 p.m. over there in New Zealand. We have a bottom 4 clash again. This time we have the 14th place New Zealand Warriors taking on the 17th place and current wooden spooners West Tigers in 17th. Now both teams are coming off losses last week. Warriors coming off a 2-point loss against the Raiders. They were down 14-0 and Charis DeVita missed a kick in front, which was ridiculous. But all the pros have done that before, so he's not the first one. So, unfortunately, Warriors lost to the Raiders 2018. And as for the Tigers, they were very competitive in a high-scoring game against my boys, the Rabbitohs, at Industry Group Stadium on the weekend. They lost 42-28, conceding 40 points once again. They did lead against the Rabbits twice in that game, but obviously Sydney to Caesar, which really killed them, and they fell out of favour in the second half. Anyway, it was still a good game against the Rabbitohs, but they've still got a lot to learn. Now, obviously, both teams pretty much there. Warriors season has pretty much finished for the finals, but they could still make it. Unlikely though, but they've got a few tough games coming up ahead. And Tigers obviously cannot make the finals now. It's either them or Parramatta getting the wooden spoon this year. Now at the moment, the Warriors are favourites at $1.24 and the Tigers are $4.10 outsiders. In the past 10 between the two, Warriors have won 7 of the last 10, which includes winning winning the last 6 games. Last time the Warriors lost to the Tigers was 34-6 in 2019. And the Tigers' last win in New Zealand, or at Mount Smart I should say, was in 2016, where the Tigers won 36-24. So, and the Tigers have also lost the last 2 games in New Zealand, which was both last year, one game last year, because the Tigers took a home game there at FMG Stadium against the Warriors, 30-22. But for this one, I think Tigers will give them a game, but I think the Warriors will bounce back, being back at home for a while. So we'll go to Warriors to win 1-12. Warriors to win by 8. Scoreline, we will go. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, no doubt. We'll go 34-26. I'm feeling like that kind of scoreline. And as for try scorers for both teams, Jerome Buller, he played well against the Rabbitohs. I'll go him to score a try for the Tigers. And as for the Warriors, I think we'll go Roger Tuivasa-Sheck to score. So, Warriors to win 1-12. Alright, now we move into our final game on Friday. There's 2 Friday games, no Thursday game, because obviously NRLW starts up this week as well, so that's why. We have the first place Melbourne Storm taking place against the 16th place Parramatta Eels. Now, last week, the Eels are coming off their final bye of the season. The week before losing to the Titans at Seabus 24-16, continuing their very disappointing and shocking season. As for Melbourne, They were too good against the Roosters, winning 24 points to 8. I was a dickhead for tipping against them. I should have learned much better, but obviously we all have our bad tips, obviously. But Melbourne still remain in first place, and Eels are 2 points clear of the Tigers, so they still have a chance of avoiding the spoon. But they've got a tough few fixtures up ahead as well, just like the Tigers. Anyways, the Storm are favourites. Are favourites at $1.16, and Eels at outsides at $5.30. I should point out as well, the game kicks off at 8 p.m. and is taking place from CommBank Stadium. Forgot to mention that in the first part at the start of this one. Anyways, in the past 10 games between the two, surprisingly, it's 5 games apiece. However, between the last 10 games, it's been 5 apiece. However, Melbourne have won 3 in a row. So Parramatta have not won since round 25 last year against Melbourne, where they won 22-14 at CommBank. And also, since the opening of CommBank Stadium back in 2019, Melbourne have only won 1 game of 4 versus the Parramatta Eels. And that win came last year, where they beat them 16-12 to open the season last year. So I guess Eels will have something in their favour, but it won't be how it'll go this week. Easy result. Melbourne to win 13+. Melbourne to win by 20. Scoreline. We will go 30 points to 10. Try scorers for both. We will go Gutherson. And for Melbourne, we will go William Warbick. And also Mitchell Mace is also out for the rest of the year now. Unfortunately, he ruptured his bicep in the State of Origin decider, which got us the win for the Blues. Unfortunately, he will be out for the rest of the season, which is unfortunate. But Melbourne to win 13+. Alright, now we move on to 3 games on Saturday. First one kicking off at 3 p.m. from Suncorp Stadium. We have the 11th place Brisbane Broncos taking on the 6th place Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. The Bulldogs went up to Townsville, and unfortunately, they lost by 2 points against the Cowboys, losing 2018. Yeah, so the Dogs losing 2018. Just realised we had 2 scores with 2018 last week, which is ridiculous to get the same score twice. Anyway, and also as for the Broncos, they finally snapped their 6-game losing streak. Finally. They beat the Knights 30 points to 14, I think the score was, up in Newcastle last week. So good on them for finally snapping the losing streak. Reynolds returned as well, which that was a big factor. They started slow, but they managed to kick in gear and won, and this could be the factor for them to make the finals. Who knows at this stage. Anyway, at the moment, the Broncos are the favourites at $1.42, and the Bulldogs are outsiders at $2.90. In the past 10 between the two, Broncos have won 8 of the last 10, which includes winning 5 in a row, winning the last 5 games. Dogs have not beaten the Broncos since 2019, where they won 30 points to 14. Excuse me. And the last time the Dogs won at Suncorp was in 2015. The last time they won at Suncorp versus the Broncos was in 2015. Sorry, I said that incorrectly because obviously Bulldogs have won in Magic Round, but obviously that was a small mistake by me. But yeah, Bulldogs have not beaten Brisbane at Suncorp in 9 years. That's what I was meant to say. Anyway, for this game, this was a flip of a coin, really. I mean, Dogs were good last week, but obviously some errors cost them the game. But for this one, I think Brisbane will continue their winning streak. Bulldogs are nowhere near falling out of the 8, so I think they can cop 2 losses in a row. So Brisbane to win 1-12, Brisbane to win by 8. Scoreline, we will go 26 points to 18. And try scorers for both, we'll go Reece Walsh at fullback, and for the Dogs, we will go Reid Marnie. So Broncos to win 1-12. Alrighty, now we move on to our next game on Saturday. Now the next one kicking off at 5:30 p.m. between the North Queensland Cowboys, who are in 8th place, against the 3rd place Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. Last week, the Sharks are coming off their 3rd and final bye of the season. The week before, they flogged the Tigers, 58 points to 6 at PointsBet. And as for the Cowboys, really lucky to win against the Bulldogs last week, winning 20 points to 18 in a cracking game. Great game. I didn't expect the Cowboys to win against the Dogs the way the Dogs have been playing, but there you go. It was a flip of a coin, that game between the Cowboys and the Dogs, but obviously it got the tip wrong. They almost got it, but they came back to win. Now, at the moment, the Cowboys are surprisingly the favourites at $1.79. And the Sharks are $2.08 outsiders. Obviously, because with the many Sharks players that got out, and also William Kenny is suspended for this game as well. Now, in the past 10 games between the two, this is where it gets a bit haywire. Sharks have won 9 of the last 10, which, to be fair, they have won 12 of the last 13 games between them and the Cowboys. The last time the Cowboys won was in 2022, where they beat the Sharks in the qualifying final 32-30. But the last time the Cowboys won a regular season game against the Sharks was in 2018, where they won 20 points to 14. So, doesn't really in favour of the Cowboys. And according to some people, this is a bit of a rivalry game. Obviously, they have bitten each other's heads off between each other in the last few games. And also, Sharks have won the last 3 games in Queensland against the Cowboys, which Cowboys haven't beaten the Sharks yet at Queensland Country Bank Stadium since it first opened in 2020. Oh no, sorry, they've won 4 games, my apologies. They've played 4 games at Queensland Country Bank, and Cowboys have lost all 4 against the Sharks. So, this is going to be an interesting game, this one. But I think I've done this many times when it comes to Cowboys Sharks. I've tipped the Cowboys have lost, but I think this time with Hines out and Kennedy suspended, I think the Cowboys will come out flying and snap this massive winning streak or fixture rather against the Sharks. Cowboys to win 1-12. Cowboys to win by 10. Cowboys to win. Cowboys to go 26-16. Score. That's for the scoreline. Try scorers Scott Drinkwater, and for Sharks will go Ronaldo Mulitalo to score. So Cowboys to win 1-12. Alrighty, now we move on to the final fixture for the Saturday games. Kicking off at 7:35 p.m. at Allianz Stadium. We have the 4th place Sydney Roosters taking place against the 5th place Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. Last week, the Roosters' winning streak came to an end, losing to the Storm in Melbourne, 24 points to 8. Roosters cannot beat the Panthers. They cannot beat the Storm either in the last 20 games or so, which is ridiculous. And they can beat the bottom 9 teams, but for some reason they can't beat the current top 8 teams. All right. So with the current top 8 teams, other than the Roosters, they have lost to Penrith, Melbourne. They've lost to the Sharks at Magic Ground. They did beat the Dogs, but the Dogs beat them earlier in the first game between the two. They lost to Manly early on in the season as well. And they have also lost to the Cowboys during Origin period, where they led and Cowboys came back to win. Obviously, they haven't played the Dolphins yet, which they don't play the Dolphins till next week, which I'll get into that next week. But with the exception of the Dolphins, the Roosters have lost to every current top 8 team that is in the top 8 at the moment, except the Dolphins. Although they did beat the Dogs, which was on the Central Coast, but don't forget, the Roosters lost to the Dogs earlier this year, and which includes Manly. But that's something I'm just pointing out. And as for Manly, they continued their 3-game winning streak, beating the Titans after going down 8-0 in the early stages to formally win 38 points to 8, sucked into the Titans. They didn't deserve to win that game anyway, but good on Manly for winning that one against their former coach, Des Hasler. So I'm glad Des Hasler had a fun day at least. But anyways, getting a bit carried on here with the stats and that. Roosters are the favourites at $1.47. Manly are at $2.69. In the past 10 games between the two, there has been 6 games won out of the last 10 in favour of the Roosters. Roosters have also won 3 of the last 5 games, however, against Manly. However, Manly did beat the Roosters earlier in the year, 4 Pines Park, 21 points to 14. This is also Manly's first time they've played at the new Allianz Stadium since it first opened in 2022. Now, Manly, if we're factoring in the old Allianz Stadium as well, Manly have not won at Allianz Stadium or at Sydney Football Stadium in general since 2017 against the Roosters. Manly have not beaten the Roosters at Sydney Football Stadium since 2017, because I know Manly did play a game against us at Allianz Stadium that year as well. I'm not sure if Manly won that. I'm not sure back in 2017. But Manly did beat the Roosters last time at the old Allianz Stadium. Fuck's sake. Sorry. The last time Manly beat the Roosters at Sydney Football Stadium or the old SFS was in 2017, where Manly won 18-12. So that was before we played Manly that year at Allianz Stadium or the old Sydney Football Stadium. Anyway, getting sidetracked here. Anyways, who do I have winning this game? I think this is going to be the toughest game to pick, no doubt, this week. Roosters will want to bounce back, and they're back at Allianz in front of their home faithful, but I think Manly will get the double over them. I think Manly will win this one. Not confident though, but I think Manly will go 4 in a row. We'll win 4 in a row now. So Manly to win by 6, scoreline 18-12. I think this is going to be a very close game. Try scorers for both. Roosters, we will go James Tedesco, and for the Seagulls, I'm going to go Boldy. I'm going to go Deli Cherry Evans to score against the Roosters. So Manly to win by 6. Now we move on to our final day of football for round 21. First game on Sunday, kicking off at 2 p.m. We have the 9th place Sir George Illawarra Dragons from Wynn Stadium, I should point out as well, taking place against the 2nd place Penrith Panthers. Now, Panthers are coming off a very lucky win over the Dolphins at Bluebet Stadium back on Sunday. They were really lucky to win that one. 28-26. Obviously, they rested all their origin players, but Nathan Cleary finally returned after missing 10 weeks of action. Or 9 weeks of action, rather, because of the buys and stuff. But if it wasn't for Cleary, Dolphins would have won that game for sure. But what a game that was as well. And as for the Dragons, they're coming off the bye. Their third and final bye in the week before. They beat the Dolphins. Last time out, the last game the Dragons played, they beat the Broncos only just at Suncorp. Broncos catching up the Dragons, but Dragons managed to hold on 30-26 at Suncorp back in round 19. Now, at the moment, Panthers are favourites at $1.26 and the Dragons are $3.90. In the past 10 games between the two, Penrith have won 6 of the last 10, which includes winning 6 of the last 7 games. In between the first game between the two early this year, which was Origin affected back on June 1st, Dragons pulled off an upset and won 22 points to 10, which that is crazy. But Penrith did lead 10-0, and Dragons went on to score 22 unanswered points. And this is also the first time these two have played at Wynn Stadium since 2016. Penrith have also not won at Wynn Stadium since 2014. Last time they played there was in 2014, where they won 16 points to 4. And Dragons usually play a lot more better when it's at Wynn Stadium compared to Cogra. But for this game, I think it's fairly straightforward. All the Origin players except Dylan Edwards, because he'll be out till around 22 or 23. I think Penrith will win this one, 1-12 though. Panthers to win by 12. Scoreline 24-12. Try scorers, we will go Isaac Tago to score for the Panthers. And for the Dragons, we will go Zach Lomax to score. So it should be an enjoyable game at 2 o'clock on Sunday down at the Gong. Panthers to win 1-12. Alrighty, now we move on to our next game on Sunday. Another game at Suncorp Stadium, which I think it's the first time outside of Magic Round this year. I think this is the first round we've had 2 men's NRL games at Suncorp Stadium this year, other than Magic Round. We have the 7th place Dolphins taking on the 15th place Gold Coast Titans. So we have a Queensland derby for the first time for a while, funny enough. Now, last week, the Dolphins coming off a 2-point loss over the Panthers, 28-26. And the Titans coming off a beltering loss against Manly after leading 8-0. Shows you how much they just love the choke. And the Titans obviously love the choke. Even back when the Gold Coast Chargers were playing. But that's a different topic for a different day. But kicking off at 4 p.m. free to air. This should be an enjoyable game between the two. Dolphins are favourites at $1.48 and Titans are $2.66. This will be the 4th game these played between the two. And Dolphins have won all 3 games, funny enough, which includes winning a 26-point comeback to win 28-26 over them, which funny enough was at Suncorp last year, which that was the first game between the two. So, Titans have yet to find a victory over the Dolphins, which includes losing to them earlier in the year, 30 points to 14 at Seabus. So, for this one, straightforward, Dolphins to win this one, 13+. Dolphins to win by 18. Scoreline will go 40-22, so this will be high scoring, but Dolphins to win 13+. For try scorers, Jermaine Zaka to score for the Dolphins and the Hammer. And for Titans, we will go... He didn't play last week, but I think AJ Brimson will be back for this one. So AJ Brimson to score for the Titans. So, David Fafita, we'll go Fafita to score. So, Dolphins to win, 13+. Alrighty, now we move to the final game of round 21. We are heading to the nation's capital at GIO Stadium. We have the 10th place, kicking off at 6:15 p.m. as well. We have the 10th place Canberra Raiders taking on the 12th place, my boys, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Yes, we're playing a Sunday game for once. The second time we've played a Sunday game this year. Technically, it's our second Sunday game because if you remember back in Vegas, we played on the Sunday, but it was obviously a Saturday night over there. But depending on how you see it, this is our second Sunday game this year, and this is the first time this year that we're playing the last game of a regular season game, which it's been the only time it's one, which is funny. We don't play many Sunday games, and fair enough. But anyways, last week, the Raiders coming off a really close win over the Warriors. They finally snapped their losing streak. I think it was like their first win in 3 months at home as well, which that's just nuts. Technically, Raiders won at home for Magic Round, but that was Suncorp. But anyway, Raiders were lucky to win 20 points to 18 against the Warriors. And my boys, the Rabbitohs, we finally bounced back after losing to the Dolphins the week before. We beat the West Tigers at Industry Grit Steam in Gossip, which I was at as well. If you guys haven't seen the vlog, make sure you guys go check it out. Rabbitoh, we won 42 points to 28. I was a little bit scared with our defence, but obviously it was a high-scoring game. It was an enjoyable game, but we got the job done. That's what matters. And our finals are still... Our contention for the finals is still on the cards, but one of these teams will unfortunately have that ticket just clicked, just like that, but unlikely we'll make the finals anyway, despite us being in 12th. But anyway, we'll wait and see what happens. Raiders are favourites at $1.65, and the Rabbitohs are outsiders at $2.25. In the past 10 games between the two, Raiders have won 7 of the last 10, which includes winning 4 of the last 5 fixtures. So we haven't won against the Raiders since 2021 when we won 34-20, which this is also the first game we've played at GIO Stadium since 2021, and we won that last fixture against the Raiders at GIO Stadium. In fact, since 2014, we've had a decent record. We've won 3 of our last 6 games at GIO Stadium, and we have lost 2 of our last 3, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But we do have a decent record in the last 10 years at least. Now, obviously, I will be attending this game as well. You guys might have thought I would have mentioned it at the start of the portion between the Raiders and Rabbits, but unfortunately I didn't. But I'm going to let you guys know I will be heading to the nation's capital. This will be my first time at GIO Stadium. I'm going to be freezing my ass off here, and to people who have been to the ground before, I'm just going to be like this, except obviously it's in July, but the coldest month of the year, or August, depending on who you ask and whatnot. But I'm going to be going to this game and checking out Canberra. I haven't been to Canberra in 10 years. I was on a school trip 10 years ago, and that was a lot of fun. Can't wait to go back to Canberra. But my first time going to this ground, which should be fun, so I will be doing a vlog as well. But anyways, obviously I will back my boys to win this one, no doubt. We've been really close against the Raiders in the past few games. Obviously, Apex Oval, that didn't go well, and we lost. And last time we played, we lost 33-26 in a high-scoring affair. But it is what it is. So I got us winning 1-12. Rabbitohs to win by 8. Scoreline, we will go 28-20. For try scorers, Raiders, we will go Jordan Rapana. And for Rabbitohs, Jack Whiten to score against his former club. Now, I don't know how the response will go for Jack Whiten, but it will be interesting playing against his former club, where he is now. Been looking forward to this game all this year, and it should be a great game. And also, Keon Colomatoni plays his 100th NRL game, so congrats to him. And I think he'll go over to score a try as well. So let's go, you Rabbitohs. Rabbitohs to win 1-12. And the Knights have their third and final bye to wrap up round 21. Anyways, guys, this is going to wrap up the round 21 tips. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss out whenever I post a video or a live stream. Anyways, guys, I'm getting out of here. And also stay tuned tomorrow. I will be doing a new video that will go alongside the NRL tips as well. You'll see it tomorrow. And anyways, I will be doing 2 live streams on Friday, and then I'll be heading to Canberra on Saturday. But anyways, see you all guys in the next video tomorrow, and go to mighty Rabbitohs. Canberra, we're coming for you.